Thanks for your time and watching this conversation that you're about to hear that I had with Susan, a program member who I've worked with for a long time. The conversation is about a plan that she made to go on vacation to Puerto Rico with her family. Now, beforehand, we had developed a list of agreements that she had really thought through and stuck to because she was thinking very clearly about all the work that she'd put in on her weight, with her lifestyle choices, all the positives, and all of the things that she'd had to tolerate to lose weight versus the potential consequences of going on vacation without a plan. And it occurs to me, yet again, how important it is to have a plan. One with specific strategies that you're willing to practice in the face of challenging circumstances. And to not go into those challenging situations thinking, oh, it'll somehow work out, or, I'll just pick up the pieces after, or maybe not even confronting at all what you're facing, which is something that we all do from time to time. Having a plan to practice healthy strategies to help you manage your calories is literally a prerequisite for weight loss and weight management, because the world has got a very different plan in store for you, and that's something that we're all too aware of. And while one person's Puerto Rico is another person's ski vacation or a trip to Europe, or just a long unstructured weekend at home, we all need to have a plan. A plan to stay in the A position with your food and physical activity choices. Wanting to lose or manage weight, desire, if you will, just isn't enough, as we all know. But a plan can make the difference. You came back to phase one. I can't imagine that you didn't think it went well, because you consistently lost a lot of weight each week for 6 consecutive weeks. Do tell.
I think that I'd been in a bit of a funk before that, where I could see myself making the wrong choices, but just wasn't taking action about it. And so it kind of was all part of a big plan, really, like booking a vacation that I knew would motivate me, doing it so that the timing was January 1st when it's like peak motivation season, and then like telling you that was my plan, knowing that it was like this short-lived, just a few weeks to really hit as hard as I could and try to make as much progress as I could in that time. That was all by design, and it was all a big scheme to get me out of my funk. So
Yeah.
it worked.
Yeah, it did. And part of how well or how hard you'd worked and how urgently you tackled phase one, coming back to it, first of all, there was a lot of weight loss. That was reinforcing. But you had a lot to protect. So I actually felt when we got on the phone about the vacation, I actually felt I had some cards that I could play with you. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So before we talk about some of the things that we decided made sense for you to commit to while you were in Puerto Rico, what were your fears going into the vacation? Because I asked you and I expected specific drama, and you were like, I'm afraid I just don't have a plan.
Yeah. Mhm.
Say more.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have family, and none of them are on a diet, and they like ice cream and all the things that I would have for sure gotten myself into as well if I hadn't had a plan. So I just figured if I didn't plan it out, then I'd just go on a weight gaining spree, which was, it would have undone the work that I had done going into it. And, I didn't want that. So
Yeah.
I also wanted to enjoy myself on vacation. So I wanted there to be a kind of a balance there.
Yes.
I knew I had to have some sort of boundaries for myself.
Right. Which is why we brought some flexibility to your plans.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about some of the things that you committed to after our conversation that made sense. Because why don't we, let's not wait for a drum roll. You came back from this vacation. How many days was it in Puerto Rico?
I was only in Puerto Rico 5 days, but just because my coaching calls are on Wednesdays, it was sort of like a 2 week span that I was away from you.
Yeah, right. And what was the impact of the plan just on the scale?
You told me it was 1.8 pounds
That's right.
down.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Based on your previous reported weight in the system,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
came back from vacation down 1.8, which was extraordinary. Yeah, so that's a little bit of the carrot there to dangle. So the plans that we came up with, just off the top of your head, just think through your experience down there and some of the things that you towed a tight line on.
Well, can I just start off by just saying that I appreciate that you wanted to have the conversation with me. It was your idea to do that in the first place. And I said, yes, absolutely. I want to do that. And then I really feel like the suggestions you gave me were what you know about diet and stuff, but also what you know about me. So you
Yeah.
really like customized it for me. So I think
Yeah.
that's part of what made it work so well.
Yeah.
So I
Thank
still
you.
have the notes right here that I took that day when we chatted. So I'm normally a 3 shake a day person, and you suggested that I go up to 4. And as I told my Wednesday night group, I think one of the biggest game changers was just the simple act of asking the hotel to put a blender in my room so that I could make those shakes. So, they have the ice machine in the hotel, and I
Right.
would and fill it up with lots of ice, which here in Massachusetts in February is not appealing, but when it's 89 degrees, it's amazing to have all of that.
Amazing.
So,
Yes.
4 shakes a day. You did suggest I do 2 blended shakes and 2 puddings, like 2 doubles, but I think that I actually ended up going with more blended shakes and less puddings. I definitely did some puddings, like if we were away from the hotel for the day. I just really was enjoying the blended shakes, and I know that they're the most filling, and so I just kind of kept going back for them. I think sometimes I went back and made a second. I'm not sure if I ever went back and made a third double. I don't think I ever went that far, but another thing is that I wasn't having entrees and we weren't going out for every meal. So sometimes I would just have another double shake for lunch instead of something else. So it was almost like I was doing even like a decision free kind of thing. Not quite, but like more shakes and less.
Yeah. Leaning into the shakes, right?
Mm. But it didn't feel deprivational at all. It was really refreshing to have those shakes, and it was fine.
Let me
I
just set up one of the context for the planning. Part of me was I wanted you to obviously some agreements that were practically reasonable, not pie in the sky. But I also set up our whole conversation, if you remember, by saying this is going to be largely a to-do plan.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be don't eat this and don't eat that and stay in this box and it was going to be just building a lot of healthy choices. And I knew how that was going to impact you for whenever the meals came. You're more likely to order a low calorie fish at night when you're feeling like, wow, I've had a great day today. So all that sort of informed the direction we went.
Yeah, and I've always appreciated the to-do approach of this plan. And I think you also even said to me, like, you won't always be in phase 1 or even 1.5, and that's okay. And there certainly was a day where I wasn't in any kind of a box. I was for most of the day, but then we went out. Like, I knew that I wasn't blowing the whole thing because you had said it was okay to do that a little bit. Anyway, so I was also just gonna say that at home I put a lot of stuff in my shakes.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was there, I just had 120 and water and ice and sometimes coffee instead of water. And
Yeah.
it was fine.
Yeah.
I liked it just as much. The airport security guy had to test it. And I'm like, oh, please don't
Did he
take it
test
away.
it? You're
Yeah,
kidding me.
but
Oh, wow.
it came back safe. I was allowed to take it on in my carry-on. So anyway, so that was one big piece was the shakes. And then you said to push the fruits and vegetables. And we had a microwave and a grill, but I was really looking for things that I could eat that didn't require any prep. So there were a lot of baby carrots, those little single serving guacamole containers that I could dip my baby carrots into,
Right.
little mini peppers that come in like red and yellow and orange, and like apples, oranges, like anything that was kind of just easy to eat without a lot of prep is what I went for a lot of my fruits and vegetables. You said to hit hard on PA, and a lot of my PA was very rough estimates because if you're just like running around a beach with your kids and like in the water, out of the water, I just guessed. I don't know what my PA actually was. And actually, I lost my whole data tracking system after the vacation, so who knows what I just estimated. I know I did a lot of exercise. I just don't know what it actually
But
was.
again, even there, so unfortunately, we know it's not like, oh, I made a 3,000 calorie PA estimation error. I mean, that never happened. It might happen on food, but PA adds up so slowly. How much of an error you could make? You can only make so much of an error. So you were probably in the ballpark. And more than half of the benefit is not almost all of it. It's not just the calories. It's feeling reinforced for the movement that you were doing, and probably promoted more, and then also just kept your head in the game around the food.
Yeah, and I know I was taking a lot of steps because your phone tracks that, and that doesn't count any steps I took in the ocean because I didn't have my phone with me when I was in the water. We like boogie board and stuff in my family too. So
Cool.
I only used the gym once, but I think it was fine because I was active outside a lot. You suggested fish. So one day we grilled fish. When we went to restaurants, fish was what I ordered. So there was a lot of fish. Um, and then the next thing was to be mindful about alcohol. And the plan we came up with was whatever I burned in PA calories equaled how many calories I could take in alcohol calories. And I did not have all of the alcohol that I earned through PA. I had a couple of the days I didn't drink anything. If I went to a restaurant, I had a glass or two of wine, but that's it. I didn't order any of the fun drinks at the hotel bar that probably would have had lots of extra calories
So,
in.
so with your 2,100 reported PA calories, you're saying my joke fell flat when I said, "How did you enjoy those 18 glasses of wine in
I
5
don't know
days?"
how I could tolerate 18 right now after, phase one, there's none. So that would have been going from none to,
Yeah, that would. I think the whole plan would have gone out the window if you really explored that agreement.
but I'm lucky that, I'm not with drinkers either. So my husband
Right.
doesn't drink and my kids are young. So
Right,
it was
right.
it was very easy to say no to the alcohol, believe it or not. One thing that was brand new for me was bars. So the advanced health systems bars. I had never had an HMR bar or any of those bars before. I always kind of heard the sort of downside is like once you start, it's hard to stop and like why bother? And so I never did. But this was something not only did you suggest in our call, but you even offered to meet up with me because we do live one town apart from each other and we never met in person before, even though we've known each other online since I don't know, 5 years.
Long time, yes.
So you offered to meet up and give me a little variety pack of bars. So we did that and we got to meet in person. And I got to try a bunch of different bars, and by far my favorite was the chocolate mint, although
Yes.
amazing. It's like, how is this on a diet? Like so
It's-
good.
I think I always say two types of people in the world: people who try it and are like, "What's all the parade about?" And then people like us and Linda and a lot of people. There's something about that chocolate mint advanced health system bar. So it's the consistency is very different.
Oh
Isn't
yeah,
it?
I was expecting, like I've had protein bars before, they're like chewy and hard and
Right.
not this was like if you weren't on a diet, you would want this. In fact, my husband,
100%.
who's not on a diet, keeps saying, "Can I try one of those?" And it's like I have just a few left. And I was like, "No, I kind of want to save them." I did like all the ones that I tried, but that was my favorite.
Yep.
And so that I had 1 or 2 bars a day on vacation. I haven't had any since, but that was a suggestion that you made for like if the rest of my family is having a dessert and I wanted a treat, that was a way to treat myself. So that worked very well.
And just let's look at the math there for most people at night, especially on vacation or just in life. There's after dinner, it's always nice to have some dessert, right? So what's a typical dessert? I don't know, 400, 700, 800, who knows? You're investing 150 calories in that bar, and it's a calorie savings when you have the bar compared to what typically happens.
Right. And the protein is in them. So they actually satisfy you unlike
Yes.
other desserts.
Yes.
And you suggested always have it with a drink, so like water.
A
or
companion strategy with the bar, or else it's very easy to have a second bar and sometimes a third bar in less than 5 minutes. So you make it almost
never let
ceremonial.
myself have 3 in a day, but
Yeah.
I've heard I had 2.
But
Um,
yeah, that's important. Pairing it with another successful behavior, it just slows it down. It just has you going one step further and being mindful about a behavior that can be abused, the bars. So that's great that worked. I'm thrilled to hear that.
Yeah, like a charm. It was perfect. And record keeping, you said, definitely do the record keeping. And I did that. I didn't accidentally delete my spreadsheet until after I got back from vacation. So while I was on vacation, I did keep up the record keeping. And then the only other thing in my notes was the importance of having a strong first day back after the vacation.
Yes.
And I actually didn't follow your suggestions there. You said like instead of 3 + 2 + 5, have 4 shakes and 3 entrees and sip on broth all day.
Did I in a dark closet, or did I add that too? Sip on broth all day. Oh,
You did.
God.
I wrote broth, and my husband went out and bought me the broth. I didn't use it. I don't know. I got back and I was ready to just have my normal, like 3 + 2 + 6 is my normal. So that's what I had my first day back. So that went fine. I think that covers it.
Yeah, I think that last part, the idea was not coming back and having no plan, or not
Yeah.
coming back without a plan. That was the whole idea there. I didn't care what you did, as long as it was, successful choices, so that you could sort of reassert back into some of the routines, and then you picked it right back up again.
Well, it was like I didn't know really going into it in January what my long-term plan was going to be. I knew I'd been basically failing and gaining back a lot of the weight I had lost, and I knew I wanted something short-term to kind of sort of snap myself back on track.
Yeah,
And I hadn't really thought through what was going to happen during and after.
yeah,
And I think the success made me want to have more success. So we're actually now talking about maybe going on another vacation, maybe not quite as extravagant because we're not made of money, but like some like a Florida trip or something for April vacation, so I can not just so that I can do this all over again, but that for me that would be one of the reasons to do this, because just having something like a deadline, I feel like, and you know exactly how many weeks and how many pounds you'll probably be able to lose by then. For me, I just find that so incredibly motivating to stay on track in those moments where it's like,
yes.
I want to do this. Yes, I do, because this is coming. So I think I might do it all.
Goals will do that. I mean, how many times have people literally stood on their head and like lost a ton of weight because of my daughter's wedding or something like that? It's amazing when you have a goal, how much it can help you to confront your problem solving and bring up the urgency.
Yeah, that's what got me started on HMR in the first place, my brother's wedding. And then I don't know, it's really hard for me to keep it up long term without a reason.
Yeah, yeah.
I need the constant reinforcement of the scale or I'm out.
100%. And now the last layer, Susan, is you came back, you had a very successful vacation. You didn't skip the step of getting back on the wheel right away back home. Imagine vacation had gone to hell in a handbasket. And now you come home and you're facing, it's the weekend. Remember, it was a Friday, right? And it's like, I have to regroup. I have to recommit. I feel guilty or whatever about how the vacation went. The whole tainting of that. It's like night and day to have kept your commitments.
Completely. Yeah. Yeah. We got back, and the first night my family went out for fast food, and I could have that could have been the end of, you would have been like, where'd Susan go?
Yes.
Never see me again. But no, I wanted to keep the success. Just kind of makes you want to keep having success.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being so coachable and letting me partner with you like that. That was a really successful plan and 1-2 week experience.
Really made me feel like I'm getting my money's worth here.
That's always good. Really funny. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for watching this very long commercial for the Advanced Health Systems Chocolate Mint Bar. Link below if you want to order some. Yeah, so we back at it till the next challenge. And I'll be talking to you in 2 days.
Wednesday night, yes.
2 days. So I'll see
All
you
right.
then. And thanks for your time here. This was great. I hope this conversation is helpful to people.
Me too.